So before we bring our founder CEO on, let me tell you a little bit about him. And I think that's going to really be fitting to the journey that you're about to hear this morning. When I got a chance to meet this gentleman about 15 years ago, more than 15 years ago, I was absolutely blown away by his credentials. I was blown away by his credibility. I was blown away by his experience. He's built 5 multi-million-dollar businesses. He's helped dozens of people to be able to become million-dollar earners in the MLM, in the direct sales industry. He's been able to bless so many lives when it comes to this industry of direct sales. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to mute out a couple of people. Team, when you do get on, please do mute yourself so it does not interrupt unless you want to ask us a question. And you can raise your hand and we'll be more than happy to, of course, unmute you for you to say a couple of words. So to continue, he's basically been in this industry almost 3 decades. I think a little bit more than 3 decades now. So vast experience, built organizations of over 100,000 people, helped dozens of people to become million-dollar earners, hundreds of people when it comes to being 6-figure income earners. He's been able to bless so many lives to reach financial freedom. He is a compensation plan expert. He is also the forensic networker that has been in the industry since the 90s and really revamped it to become catered to today's market and today's society and today's industry, because the direct sales MLM world has changed quite a bit. It has evolved. And you see, that's one of the key factors about our founder and CEO, that he is always evolving. He's always about the next, and it's about keeping up with the market and the trends. And of course, he's the one who is the head of the company, runs everything, the creator, the developer of course, the compensation plan. He's been voted as one of the top compensation plan experts in this industry. And it's my honor and pleasure to be welcoming our founder and CEO for our interview this morning. Ramin Mesgarlou, sir, the call is yours. I'd like to say good morning to you and get you to say a couple of words.
Good morning, Sanaz. Great job as usual. Wow. First of all, let me just start with this view. I don't know if I can turn this. You think I see this? Can you see this? Let that sink in for a bit. Here's the reason why. This is an opulence view. It's an opulence view. This is what MLM does. We got up at 5 something this morning. We got here after a 15-hour travel day on a plane for 5.5 hours, did a meeting in Vancouver, instantly at the airport, bathroom, change, right, meeting people right at the airport, get a car, drive 5.5 hours, come here, got here at 10:30 last night, 9:30 last night. We got half an hour to get into the pool, so in the pool quickly just to refresh, came up, did some work at midnight in bed, and here we are, 5 hours up with you. And we wouldn't do it for anything else. We just love it. People say, how do you make $1 million by age 25 in the industry? Well, I did it because first, the industry allows it, number one. We had the vehicle, we have to have the vehicle, right? And then you have to have the dedication to do it. So no sleep, 15-hour drive, travel yesterday. We're here with you tomorrow morning, same thing. We're waiting for Philippines, and we got at 5 in the morning tomorrow. And this is supposed to be a vacation. But again, I wouldn't do it any other way. I would not do it any other way. So let's talk about the industry a little bit, because hopefully, we have some guests tonight that wondering about, maybe they're confused, because everybody's confused these days, right? Because there's so many mixed messages that come out of the governments of the world, because the mixed message, because they're confused. They have no idea what they're doing. One thing that entrepreneurs do, though, we never wait for someone else's decision. We always make our own decisions. Nobody waits for other people's decision. Because it's up to me, right? Because the government's plan is not to make everybody wealthy. We already know. I think we all agree to that, right? I don't think there's a government in the world that has a plan to make everybody wealthy. So there is no such plan. So they're lucky if they could keep themselves. If to keep themselves afloat, which they can't. Government's plan is to keep everyone from not starving to death. If that's good enough for you, and I know it's not good enough, right? So we don't wait for other people to make our dreams come true, provide the ideal lifestyle. So we got to do it. And today's call with Sanaz is about that. Well, hopefully we can give you some input on what's going on, what you could do about it, and how our company can be that vehicle to get you there.
Absolutely, Ramin. And I'm super excited. I know you have an absolutely breathtaking view behind you. I'll let you get your camera set up a little bit. And I'm going to, I think what's really important today that we want to share with all of you is, the industry has changed post-pandemic. And of course, the pandemic has changed the entire world. So we want to talk and start a little bit with that today. We're going to give you a lot of insight. And it's important to make sure that you're all on the same page. So when it comes to, Ramin, when it comes to the pandemic, what are your thoughts about the MLM industry pre-COVID and then of course the post-pandemic? Because things have changed quite a bit in this industry, not only financially, but emotionally. Quite a bit in this world has shifted. So how has the industry changed prior to COVID or the pandemic and post?
Well, two main things we should talk about. One of them is pre-pandemic, MLM was a choice. Now it isn't. Now let's talk about that for a bit, because for people like us, like me, the people like me, it wasn't a choice. It was not a choice even pre-pandemic. It was something that we recognize that if the only way we're going to get to the life that we want, then we have to make it a priority. So even to people like me, pre-pandemic, MLM was not a plan B, it was plan A. Job was a plan B. But to most people, it was a choice. Now it isn't. That's the first big thing that we need to talk about, the differences. Now everyone needs to do it. It's a stay-at-home economy. The government said, this is one thing I think everybody's united on now. From the government to the media, and this is the first time everybody's talking about the same thing, which is a stay-at-home economy. The question is how you want to do it. And we'll argue that MLM is by far the best choice. So first thing is it's no longer a choice. The second thing I have to say is that the pandemic brought the much needed credibility that MLM needed. Before pandemic, there's a lot of noise out there. Well, there's a lot of bad companies or good companies, this or that. Well, you get that with e-commerce, you get that with traditional business, you get that with everything. But because of the stay-at-home economy mandate now, where the governments and companies by force send people at home to work or lose a job, companies like Amazon double the valuation from $1 trillion to $2 trillion. The credibility that MLM has today is never had in its first 75 years since it was started back in the 50s. So those are two main things. One's no longer choice. Two, it has massive credibility and everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, and sorry, I just realized I was muted. And I agree. And I think the other part of it as well that's really important is that being plugged into a company like ours that has really evolved and grown, it plugs you into a lot of positivity, because I find that a lot of people emotionally are really, struggling sometimes. And, because they're watching a lot of negativity on the news, or maybe they're seeing things in their local newspaper. How would you address someone being able to emotionally detach themselves from all the chaos that's going on and kind of staying positive during this time?
Well, for me, it was never difficult to stay motivated, because if you got set targets and plans, and then you gotta pursue those plans daily. You only have a difficult time being motivated if you're inconsistent. If something is not a habit, then it requires discipline. It's that simple. If you're committed to your targets and your goals and your dreams, then you're at it every day, it becomes a habit, then all of a sudden it's easy to do. But if you don't have those targets, and in our company, we call that a promise list. If you don't have a promise list of stuff that you must achieve, then you're not consistently going after it daily, then, it becomes a chore. It requires discipline. So all you have to do, just like going to the gym, a diet, or quit smoking, whatever it is, you need to develop a new habit towards your promise list. And once you got that promise list, you work towards every day, you'll find very quickly it's not hard to stay at it every day.
Ramin, I couldn't agree with you more. This is actually a really touchy topic, because I find that people want a consistent income in this industry, yet they want to do a part-time or some time to this industry, but they want to get paid full-time for it. And I think what you just said is such a key factor. When you are consistent and you do something over and over, and every day you know what your target is, then you do it, versus when you just get up and you feel like you're forced to do it, then it becomes like a chore. So very key. Take note to that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, another question I have for you, and this is also a very, very important one, is that, what is the difference between e-commerce and, of course, the global compensation plan? Because e-commerce, of course, these are like the Amazons of the world, and, a lot of the web companies that are out there, or companies that just sell products, versus the compensation plan that you have been able to create for Opulence Global.
Well, we talked about earlier that stay-at-home economy is not a choice. It's not a choice. It's the future. This is where it's at. Then you have some options within the stay-at-home economy. You could do e-commerce, right? And that's one way. If you're really good at doing e-commerce, because it does require a lot of skills, then that's one option to do. Of course, it has some benefits. In e-commerce, you can make some bit of profit. There are some tax benefits in some countries, which is wonderful. But why MLM is so superior? Because MLM gives you those options, which is the tax benefits. It does give you the rate of profit, but it also gives you the most important part, which is residual aspect. The reason why the residual is so important, not only allows you to tap into the monetary energy of a whole group and not just yourself, but it allows you to benefit from people who are actually better than yourself. Am I all dark, or is that okay? I'm okay?
Yeah.
All right. So that's the beautiful part about MLM. The people who are going to make you a ton of money are much smarter than you. They're much more committed than you. And so you can do that in this business. In a traditional business, a world with jobs, the smarter guys get the better jobs. It's that simple. It's the smarter guys who harder that become the bosses. That's not the case with MLM. In MLM, you can go ahead and hire smarter people, richer people, get them into the system because of the credibility of the whole organization and the company and the products, and you get paid forever. So the difference here, what we're talking about between e-commerce and Opulence Global Compensation Plan, again, you get all of those things that they offer, plus you get a lot more here.
Can you just push back?
Okay, looks like we're shifting our studio. Okay. Apparently, the production crew, Sanaz, aka Sanaz,
And host,
says that she wants me to move back. I can't really see myself. I'm all black. So you guys okay from that?
Mhm.
Okay. So that's where we're at. And I think for the average person, I've always said, I wrote in my book 22 years ago, that MLM is the last bastion of free enterprise. It's a last chance for the average person to hit a financial home run. For those reasons I did mention, that you can tap into the monetary energy of people who have much far harder worker people than you, smarter than you, more experienced than you, and be able to lift with them. There's a saying that the tide lifts all, right? The tide lifts all boats. So if there is a wave, it lifts all the boats at the same time. It's not just the bigger boats or the faster boats, all the boats go up. The question is though, are you on the boat when that happens, right? Are you on the boat that happens? So that's what MLM does.
I actually love that tide analogy, because whenever there's the right wave in any business during the right time, is instrumental for entrepreneurs to be able to plug in. So you have to really ask yourself, what is it that you're doing to ride that wave? You see, a lot of companies have struggled in the past couple of years from closing their doors to being able to do the most basic things, from distribution, product access, massive surges. Almost some of the products that we're hearing about are doubling when it comes to distribution. And one of the things that Opulence Global has really, really been able to do for all of you, and this is something that all of you should be really, really proud of, is that in the past couple of years, it's almost been 2 years, more than that now, that the pandemic has been around, and quite a bit has changed not only in this company, but in the sense of our distribution and the sense of becoming stronger day by day. All right, let's share some of the advantages of that, Ramin. And I think this is fitting. How is Opulence Global different than your standard MLM companies? Because there's always that new company, there's always that new trend. I'm going to call it a new trend because I'm sure in your 3 decades of experience, you have seen all those trends come and go. You've seen all the different companies come and go. You've seen all the different companies surge, from zero to hero in 6 months, and they become the next best company. And very soon, they're out of business. So how do you see Opulence Global? I know, Opulence, you're kind of biased, but you're not really, because you're the founder and the creator of this company. But how is Opulence Global different than the average MLM company out there?
Well, there's a lot of things. We have a video called 25 unique reasons why Opulence Global is the best option for startup economy. You want to go on YouTube and 25 reasons why Opulence Global is the best option. But if you want to talk about some basic ones, well, Opulence Global within the stay-at-home economy gives you 7 businesses in one. So you can choose, when you look at your choices, you take a look at what Opulence brings in from the health and beauty, wellness, fashion, everything that we bring in. We even got pandemic protection products, and our innovation that we put out constantly. These are products that are unique, never seen before, cutting edge. So you get 7 businesses in one. Another thing that's really important, especially if you're outside Canada, is that it's a Canadian company, it's clean, it's ethical. Canada has a lot of credibility when it comes to businesses worldwide, because Canadians, we just don't do anything wrong. I won't say anything wrong. They're very simple people. They're just hardworking, they're smart, and they just work and stick to the principles. There's not much movement, within the core of the business than, within the ethics side. So we just do, that's why Canada has the banking system, everything else, the pharmaceuticals, even Health Canada. When they approve something, most countries approve it because they know it's very strict. Canada's, we live in a very straight line. So it's nice to dealing with a, clean company, ethical company. Because a lot, when something is hot, a lot of companies pop everywhere, right? In Canada, we don't see any of these scams popping because it just doesn't happen here. But, when you look at other countries, every day somebody with an iMac launches some opportunity that mimics an opportunity. When the company's Canadian, especially something like ours, where it's like 16-year track record, okay, well, at least I know the company's good. And, that's the biggest thing, because vast majority of companies fail, right? Vast majority of companies fail. Doesn't matter how good you are, if the opportunity is not going to be around. So it's nice to know, nice Canadian company. We do have global reach. That's another thing that's very, very unique. We're not a virtual product, but we actually have physical products, fashion, health, and all this stuff, right? This beautiful timepiece is one of our products, right? So yet we ship products all over the world. And I know I can tell you there's 60-year-old companies that don't have the reach that we do. We ship the products to 204 countries and territories. It's amazing because you have families everywhere. People know people everywhere. You want a company that has the global reach. So we have a lot of extra value added benefits here, that things that you need tremendously. It's going to help you tremendously. You don't recognize it now, but later on, thank God they had it. Things like total service. We're the only company that I know, whole MLM space, we actually have a brokerage house in-house where we clear things for you. You don't have, no other company does that. You order something from Amazon, eBay, whatever, you have to clear it, right? We hire a company to do it. With us, we actually do all of those, and we call that total service. We offer that to about 16 or 17 countries around the world. We have some unique technologies that no other company has even today. And one of them is like the shopping credit smart buy system, where You don't have to buy products to be active. You can actually buy credits to redeem for products at a later date. No other company allows for that. Why is that important? Well, because you got 30 days. It just happened that there was a lockdown or something happened. You still had some products, and you don't need to get products right now that you don't need. With our company, first company that does that. With our company, you can actually buy credits. You can use it whenever you want, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, next year, and that you can convert those credits into any product that you want. And we have 1,000 SKUs. So no other company allows you the shopping credit system. It gives you complete freedom of when to order and what to order, and it doesn't pause your business. No other company allows for that.
I do want to add to that, Ramin, because I think this is one of the big things that when I looked at your company, that really intrigued me, because how many of us know of different companies that have the auto ship program where you're shipping different products to your door every single month, and then sometimes it's like a mixed package. You don't have choices, and the product comes, and then a lot of times that we're overwhelmed. We don't know what to do with the product. Some of us are product users, some of us are reselling the product. So I think what's really key is understanding that was one of the things, Ramin, that really hit home for me. The smart buy system that you have is absolutely beyond brilliant. It's like, get what you want when you want it for the product that you want. You're not restricted, you're not limited. And one of the things that you've put into this compensation plan that I do want to reiterate, which I guess is one of the advantages that I see as someone who works with so much people, is that everything great is in our comp plan. Everything great, and we've evolved to become that. So whenever there's an update or something that's been added, it's always been to do that. And the smart buy is absolutely beyond phenomenal. I mean, I lost my word that I was going to say, but it is absolutely a very revolutionary program that you've been able to create. And being, of course, a 150-year-old industry, listen to that for a minute, being 150, is it about 100?
Is it about 80? About
80, sorry. I upped the number. It's an 80, that's why I had to confirm. Being an 80-year-old industry, we are the first and only that has that sort of program where you can buy credits, you can buy your shopping credit and order when you want for the products that you want.
Yeah, see, one of our leaders there for us says Opulence equals freedom. That's true. That's definitely true. If you come from other companies, you definitely feel that immediately. It's like Palm Beach compared to restrictions that other companies have. If you're new, well, you wouldn't recognize it because you've never tried something else before. Well, it's just tremendous. So let's talk about, a lot of people, they just want to come in and replace their income, work from home, spend time with the family, and they don't really care about having the highest paid, highest ranked compensation plan. But if you happen to be one of those that say, hey, I want to go make $3 million a year, $4 million a year, well, our comp plan is a record holder in the whole industry in the ED ratio. ED is an earning per distributor ratio. We have Rene, he's on the call today. You're going to hear from later, where he made over $100,000 a month and he only had 8,000 people on his team. And that's never happened in the whole industry. And it's important because you don't just want to make, it's one thing to make a lot of money, but how many people does it take? And with other companies, you have to have 100,000 people in order for you to make a lot of money. Here, you don't have to. Why is that important? Because very few people can make a team of 100,000, but a lot of people can make a team of 8,000, 10,000. That's why it is so important. It is a world record holding record that we hold for past 10 years. We are an A+ rated business. So if you're brand new, that's important. A 16-year-old company, millions of orders, and we have an A+ BBB rated company. Again, it brings you a lot of comfort. And here's the biggest thing I'm really proud of. We have almost a 99%, 98.9% same day shipping ratio. That's Anaz and her team. And that's a tremendous thing to brag about. We maintained that average during pandemic last year in 2020. While the world was locked down, no one can find a shipping company. With us, our people in Israel would say, hey, I get the product quicker from Canada to Israel than I can deliver 2 blocks down the street. So so we're very, very proud of that. We were there for our people, made sure that what other people outside Opulence for feeling in this pandemic, that we tried our best that they don't feel it inside this company. And the one more thing, there's a lot to talk about, but one thing I'm proud of is that we always lead in innovation, right? We always lead. When we had our fashion, so as we talk about the Ferry Marsh was the first high carat luxury gold and diamond jewelry in the world. We don't make them anymore. It was 19 and 21K, which is when Cartier and Tiffany stopped at 18K, we started at 19K. We bragged about that. When it comes to our leather goods, top notch, we use Napa leather of Italy. That's the leather that's used in Rolls Royces. In Mercedes-Benz, there's only one car that they brag about. They use Napa leather. And I have that car. It's the S63. And then the Designo. So we use that on our shoes. So we always innovators, everything that we do. When it comes to health, we have the single most potent ingredients when it comes to antioxidant in the fountain of life. And then we have the micro silver with 106 patents on it. So we are innovators. We don't just we have a lot of products. We don't just put up products. We spend a lot of time in research, and we invest heavily into it. So it's, again, important that we build a brand, and we want to maintain that brand. Here's the difference between us and other companies. Other companies don't have a brand, so they just kind of put anything out there. We have a brand, and we maintain what we have to. We want to maintain that brand. So whatever we put out, it'll be the best of the best that can be possibly made.
Amazing. All right, let's talk about something very important. Let's talk about the future a little bit. So the future is forever changing. Every single day as we know it, our worlds are changing. Countries open, close. There's surges of cases, and the pandemic is really becoming this sort of yo-yo, right? Every day, one country closes and then another one opens, and then they go into another lockdown. And the reason I share that with you is because the future of jobs for post-pandemic has become the home. A lot of people are using the home to build their business, to build their empires. Can you talk to us a little bit about the future of jobs versus, I guess, working from home?
Well, it's unclear. We know it's been declared that's going to be a stay-at-home economy. It's been declared. We're already starting to see now people who've been offered businesses offering people to work from home. We're already starting to see that they're being offered to work from home with reduced income. So it's not like you could work from home with the same income. It's a reduced income. So is that acceptable? I'm not sure how that helps when you have reduced income. So the future of jobs is it's unclear. The stay-at-home economy, we're still working on this lighting here. Let's go to sorry guys, sorry team. So if you've always had a job, you've never been through this before. We've had recessions in the past. We've had things where the job was not secure, but we've never had a situation where the whole concept of job was in question. And if everything to the 5G and internet, everything's going through, be able to drop ship products at home the way we do, and be able to work from home the way we do, then if you are a job person, then you should be questioning then what is the future. So the good news is we're not new at this new stay-at-home economy. We've been doing this for 16 years. We have perfected the concept of stay-at-home economy. Our people have been doing this for 16 years, making 4-figure weekly, 5-figure weekly. We have people making 6-figure annually and 6-figure monthly. Let that sink in. So we have 16 years of experience of what now is being mandated by the government and by employers. So to talk about the workplace, you're going to be sent, most professions will want to send you home. Reason for that is, if you're working from home, A, they don't need big offices. They can reduce their staff and their offices and save a lot of money. And B, when they send you at home, they say, well, you don't have no more travel expenses anymore and all of these things. So now you get reduced income. So again, it again saves them money. The second thing is there's going to be far less travel now than before because of the web and Zoom and what we're doing right now. Again, that provides less jobs. I can tell you that brings us to point number one. A lot of these salespeople, people who have traveled, now they're being asked to do Zoom calls instead of traveling. The company saves money. And because you're not traveling, you get a pay cut. Pay cut. So short of it is, the web will replace some or most jobs. And you don't have to wait for that to happen. It's already happening. Just open your eyes and you'll see it's already happening. And you should position yourself within this new trend that we've been doing for 16 years called the state of economy, and not wait a year, 2, 3, 5 years from now, where you're going to find you live in a world where now you're trying to catch up on how you can position yourself in this new trend called the state of economy. You can start now.
And also, Ramin, and also another thing as well, we're already finding that technology in many different sectors has been replacing people. You know, we talked about it back in the day. We were saying, you know, robots are going to take over. Well, robots are really technology if you really think about it. I mean, the internet is growing. The IT sector is definitely growing around the globe. And so what's really, really important is to make sure that with the pandemic that you really seize the opportunity that you have with Opulence Global, ladies and gentlemen, because not only has it created opportunity for you, but it's creating opportunity for millions of people around the world. And you just have to share that blessing. Which brings me to my next point, Ramin, is freedom. You know, opulence, we always say opulence equals freedom. And let's talk a little bit about that because you know, our company gives so much freedom to our partners, and you know, we can go on for days listing them, but let's talk about a couple of those kind of key factors that makes a difference in people's lives every day.
Look, everyone's going to offer some type of state of economy. So we've been doing this, but what Opulence brings is a lot more than that. Very first thing that Opulence showed is resilience. During the pandemic, we didn't have one day off, not one day. We worked every day, we delivered every day. Our people within the Opulence nation never felt a thing. There was no pandemic going on inside Opulence. Even when I had challenges getting shipments and everything tripled in prices, raw material, everything else, we found a way, we got it to you. When my cost tripled, I didn't raise yours 1 penny. So we didn't pass those costs to our people. I took it all in. And, you know, the world was going through enough. We didn't want to pass any more to you guys. So it's pandemic proof. That's important because now they're talking about this pandemic is now an endemic, they call it. It's never going to end. Now they're talking about subsequent vaccines year after year. It becomes an annual thing. And that's where it's at now. It's important that even if you're working from home in a job, they could get shut down again. It could be the next lockdown again. And they get federal mandates again. You know, here, not much changes here. You're protected. You know, we've 16 years, I'm proud to say, never, ever, ever our payments have been behind, ever. Paid on time. I can tell you, I had a meeting yesterday with a company and, you know, they had a good history, 8 years old, but they're not paying their people right now. That breaks my heart. So, you know, they're asking me for help and, you know, we may have some good news for our Opulence Nation soon. But the point is this, companies are having a difficult time keeping up with their expenses. They're looking for subsidies, not us. We're a debt-free company, always been a debt-free company, and your checks has never been late. You know, when you're on a cruise, you're on vacation, when you're sleeping, time zone differences, when you wake up, your check is there on time, every time for 16 years. Products are on time. We talked about our warehouse is one of the world's always full of products. So you don't have to worry about, I don't remember not ever that we run out of anything. Now we have a lot of SKUs. If something runs out, it's so much choices, you know, it's never noticed. But our main products, we always have it in stock. And so we keep, again, because we're a debt-free company, we're not struggling financially. So we make sure that all warehouses around the world are always fully stacked. Our services are on time. Again, we have policies in place and nobody goes home till all their emails and tickets are answered, products are done. We do everything in our power to make sure everything is done on time. In other words, we don't want our VIP customers and our Opulence brand partners to walk on the same hot coals the rest of the world are walking on right now. We want to make sure we provide an environment that you feel amazing outside the money and everything else, that you feel amazing to be part of this company. When someone else talks about the challenges they're having at work or outside, and you be like, shocked, really? Because we don't have that within the Opulence Nation. So those are the things, the positive space that we have over here, as if we're completely detached from the rest of the world. Again, every single day we come to work and we want to keep this as normal as possible. And you know what? We've done an amazing job, despite the fact that we still have to rely on our suppliers. We still have to rely on shipping companies. We still have to rely on, because obviously we are a company operating, but we'll make sure we do all we can. If you have to go to 6 other companies, you have to find many other ways to get you the product. Guess what? That's what Sanaz and her team do. They'll make sure, and I don't know how many ways we have that we ship the products out, maybe 15 different ways, but we'll make sure that we get you your products so you can keep doing business. And the last thing is, we are flexible. It's not a company that, you come with a problem and it's outside the rules. We have a policy. We say, okay, let's just see if we can find a way to say yes. We're independent. Again, that's great because we're independent, that we don't get affected by what's going on outside in the world. That makes you independent, because now you know that you're not also affected by what's outside in the world. In Opulence Global, there is no mandate. When there's a lockdown, there's no lockdown for us. We do business, right? When there's a lockdown, there's no lockdown for us. You get your products. We're essential business. So we can talk a lot about this, Sanaz, but I'll tell you, the whole thing, that's why I like to call it Opulence freedom, because it's more than just making money. Mm-hmm. It's more than just joining something. No, you're going to get access to freedoms that you cannot have outside Opulence Global.
Absolutely, Ramin. And I think that's what really makes everything very, very exciting when it comes to Opulence, that, when you say when everything gets shut down, we keep on going. Well, think about it. When all the meetings around the world shut down, with all travel shut down, what do? We implemented Zoom. If you guys even remember, we even had a dance party online. So, it's about being innovative. It's about being creative. It's about keeping our community together. It's about working together hand in hand. Now, some people have really excelled and really taken the bull by the horn and are doing it. Some people have gone through, I'll just wait for the pandemic to be over. And let me tell you, my friends, this pandemic is going to be here for a little bit. So you either need to make some adjustments in your life, in your career, in what we do every single day. Because the reality of it is that the best thing about this opportunity and the best thing about Opulence, as you've been hearing, we definitely have a lot of pros in every perspective for you to go and build your empire wherever you are in the world. Whether there's a lockdown in your country or not, it's not relevant. As long as you have your internet, as long as you have your, online technology, then you are literally set to go. All right, Ramin, let's ask a question, which I think is really key. If I'm brand new, or sometimes, I've been in the business for so long, I become a dinosaur, right? And I'm a dinosaur in this industry as well. So this is something that, let's talk about Opulence Nation, because not only do we have this Opulence Nation as a core when it comes to, to the billion and the core perspective that we have even in our office, but Opulence Nation stands for a unity. It stands as a community. It stands as a family. And, we've always said you guys are like our family. We're here to bless you and help you and build with you. That's why at 7 a.m., we got up today. And for those of you who got on a little bit late.
You know what? You're low energy a little bit this one, as I could see. It was a long day for you yesterday.
Well, yesterday we were traveling for, 15 hours. We had meetings, and then we basically flew for almost 6 hours. Then went into the bathroom, freshened up, changed, did our meeting, after a meeting, got in a car, drove almost 5.5 hours, the most incredible drive I've ever experienced, driving from Vancouver to Kelowna. Got here in the evening time, and we saw so much incredible things. And then we literally had a chance to shut down for about half an hour, and we literally went to sleep. We woke up at 5 a.m. Vancouver time to get ready for this call. So I know there's other people sleeping. It's 7 a.m. in a resort, and we're screaming our lungs out in our room. So I'm not low energy. I can be energized. It's just I'm not trying to wake up anybody. But you know, the Opulence Nation, Ramin, I do want to talk about that, because that's a community that is really, really important for me. And that's something that we stand by, which is supporting our team, building with our team, inspiring our team. Talk to me a little bit about why people should join our journey, why Opulence Nation is the future.
I think the name by itself is a good enough reason to join. Who doesn't want to be opulence, right? Everybody wants to be opulence. I mean, opulent, everybody wants to be that. You know, at the end of the day, what's higher than opulence? Nothing. Opulence is the epitome of the best that the world has to offer, from luxury to the greatest of the greatest is opulence. So who doesn't want to be opulence? If you want to be opulence, blow up the chat group. Tell the folks that how you love being opulence. So that just the name alone, I think is very positive. And positivity is something this world needs the most. But to answer your question properly, is that, you know, you want a company that's, you know, that's a disruptor. The companies that blow up in tough times are companies that come and disrupt an industry, disrupt the world with their technologies. And that's what we've done. Look at our product line, revolutionary, cutting edge product line. They are unique. Look at our microsilver spray, right? Where you can put in your mask and kill bacteria and microbes and everything else. You can spray everything in your car. In this day and age, what do? You don't want to touch anything, right? Just spray, spray, spray. Become a spray master. And it's got microsilver and no alcohol in it, right? No alcohol, safe for children, pets, and all of that stuff. You know, we're talking about our toothpaste. Perhaps the most important mouth care product in the whole world today, period. Because we know how toxic fluoride is that everybody's using, and children getting sick by it, massive problems directed to diabetes type 2 and all of those things. The toothpaste I use every day, right? Yeah, we come up with a solution. No fluoride. We've used the most expensive, safest product in microsilver with all this hooray water, and it tastes beautiful, complete mouth care. Again, a disruptor. When we take a look at Sterling, what did people do last year? Sanitizers. Of course, when you do that, 2 minutes later, you have to use more sanitizers. It dries up your skin. A lot of problems with people's health today because all the alcoholic sanitizers that people use over and over. We come up with the Sterling, right? So once you use your sanitizer once, you put a Sterling on, helps with the skin damage that the alcohol just did, and because of the microsilver, it gives you prolonged protection. So you want to be a company that's a disruptor, right? So when Facebook came along, they were a disruptor for social. And look when Amazon came around, they were disruptive for shopping. Look what they are. When Google came along, they were disruptive for information, right? So when a company as a disruptor that comes in and takes the status quo and takes it to a complete new level, takes the biggest problems of the world, comes up with a solution. So first reason why you should join Opulence Nation is revolutionary products. Second, if you're looking to create wealth, we are the record holders when it comes to our compensation plan. You know, our comp plan, if you just build one business, it's like a $3 to $4 million a year worth of income potential. I mean, I think most of us, with the exception of Rene and Reza, can afford to live on $3 million a year. So, you know, the opportunity is there because we have global reach. We have 7 businesses in one. These are the type of unique aspects you're not going to find. You may find one of them in another company, but you're not going to find all of them in other companies. So we have all of them in one package. Then we talk about our build assist promotions. That's something I've never seen in my 32 years in MLM, where we come up with promotions to help you build a business. We call them build assist, and I actually pay for it. Let me tell you where I got that idea from. For example, when you go to McDonald's, they have, I don't know, Big Mac for 99 cents, right? Well, a restaurant cannot make, right, money on 99 cents. So McDonald's says we have a promotion, and you, the store, and me, the franchisee, we're going to pay for this together, right? But I took that concept, I put it into our company, because I'm paying for it all. You don't actually have to pay for any of those promotions that we do. So it's very, very important as you try to scale your business that you be able to have an extra boost. There's promotions, some we give it for free, and save money or get more products for all the stuff. We put it out there constantly, called the Build Assist program. But we have this culture called one team, one dream, from corp to the partners. We all go after the same mission. It's the same common mission. It's one team. We're going towards what we call to the billion. When we go to the billion, we're going to give away $700 million in commissions to our people. So our people want the billion, because they know through the compensation plan, 70% of that flows right back to them. We want that, they want that, and there is no gap in our mission. And it just goes on. I mean, simply, let me just put it simply. Simply why you should join Opulence Global is because we're 100% convinced that your life will be better with Opulence Nation than without it. We know we bring so much to the table that your life will be better with Opulence Nation than without it. So with that, there's one gentleman here that we talked a lot about tonight, and world record and all this stuff, Rene. But Rene, you know what? You can talk about your $100,000 month if you want. But I think, why don't you share how your life is better with Opulence Nation than without it? I mean, you were a young man when you joined us. It allowed you, I guess, to be a full-time father, full-time husband. But I want to let you tell me how Opulence Nation made your life better with it than if you had not launched with us, I don't know, 12 years ago. Is Rene on the call?
Yes. Hello. Good morning,
Absolutely
Ramin.
is. Rene, I think one of the things I admire about Rene as well is that before I bring on Rene, I know I saw he's on, is that Rene is constantly evolving and growing himself. That's one thing I absolutely admire about him. Although he's a dinosaur as well in this industry, he's constantly evolving, growing, and learning. He never stops. He never has this ego like, oh, don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Oh, don't worry. He takes feedback extremely well. I think this is one of the reasons why he is growing the way that he is. This is why he is evolving the way that he is. This is why his team is consistently growing. His team will go through the highs and lows like any other team. But Rene, I'd like for you to share a couple of words. Of course, I appreciate your leadership. You're always on. You're always evolving. You're always growing. You're always contributing. Share your story.
Again, thank you so much for this. First and foremost, an honor and privilege to be able to share the stage with you guys. It's been a true blessing, Ramin. And when you're asking that question, where would my life be today if not for Opulence? That's a very scary thought for me to think of, because I guess it brings me right back to before I got started in Opulence, 14 and a half years ago. And that was me being in a cubicle, waking up every single morning, tired, exhausted, driving through traffic.
Do we lose him? I can't hear Rene.
Rene is muted.
Oh, sorry. Good morning.
We only heard about when you said, when I joined Opulence 14 and a half years ago.
Oh, okay. Somehow I got muted there. So no, yes. Well, the whole question is quite a scary thought to think about where I would be if not for Opulence. Looking back again, 14 and a half years ago, I was, working at my programming job and just hating it, waking up tired every morning, driving through traffic, not wanting to go to work, being stuck in a cubicle, 8, 9, 10 hours a day, then getting off work, driving back home, eat, sleep, and repeat. And I just felt like I wasn't even really living, and it's just, even making $80,000 a year, I couldn't see how I could give myself or my family the life that I want to have. And Ramin always says it, that sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And like, you don't know what it's like when you have I guess residual income and financial income. And today, I never take things for granted. The smallest thing is like being able to make breakfast for my kids every morning. Every day doing a quick badminton session, in my basement. And it was kind of odd to do badminton in your basement, but I guess it's quite a big basement, so I should pull that off still. And just
I think Rene, in fairness to your basement is a mansion on its own. So
yeah, and just being able to spend so much time with my kids, and be there when they ask questions about anything in life, and just be that proper role model for them while not spoiling them, giving them motivation. And I think one thing that that the MLM industry has given to me is so much personal development, that this kind of stuff that you pick up, that you pass on to your children, it's worth billions and billions of dollars to your kids. So I mean, aside from having driven 5 different luxury cars now and having them all paid for by the company, but just being able to I mean, I have a lot of wealthy friends too, and just recently they're all so busy. They're all impacted by the pandemic. Everyone's working super extra hard to try to get through times. And here at Opulence, sales keep on growing every single month. We keep on opening new markets, and just being able to take trips, with the family. And I mean, I literally, it's a very
Well,
scary
let me
thought.
ask you this. I know that you've got the lifestyle and it's wonderful. Well, let's scale us up a little bit. I remember when you first made your first million with us. It's a big number, right? What was it, 4 years you went?
It was 4 years in, and yet made my first million.
So 4 years. How did it feel? How old were you when that happened?
I was just 30 and a half years old. 30 and a half.
30. Folks, let that sink in a bit, because, okay, so Rene joined us at 20, what, 28, 27?
I was 27.
You got a, I guess, what at that time considered a good job. I mean, it's an IT programmer with big company, but you come in, you're open-minded. Okay, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I'm only 27. You kept your job while you built this, and eventually you got out. So at 30, you're a millionaire. How'd that feel?
I guess because for me back then, I was so process oriented. I just kept my head down. In other words, just kept on building. And I never really, it's interesting because I never even thought about how much I made in total. You start to notice your monthly income going from, 5,000 a month to 10,000 a month. And then you hit 20,000 a month, then you hit 25,000, it keeps on going up. And I still recall that, I think it was actually yourself, Ramin, that when I walked in one day to the office, you said, "Congratulations, Rene, guess what? You hit your $1 million." And I didn't even know I hit $1 million. I just knew how much I was making pretty much every month, every year. But when you finally mentioned it to me, I think we all want to make $1 million. For some reason, everyone wants to hit that $1 million mark, right? And so it just kind of paused me in my steps. I just kept, I had to let it sink in that I actually made $1 million in this business.
So the first one is usually the toughest one, and it took you about 3 years. And then the second one gets easier, and the third million becomes easier. And then I guess after a while, and people ask me this all the time, how does it feel like to be a multimillionaire? It's like, it doesn't feel like anything. All it is that we just got choices, and it's freedom. I call it freedom. You go to the menu, you go to the any restaurant you want, you don't check the price. So it doesn't feel like anything other than it's just freedom, right? When you go to look at cars or homes, you're not there because you just want to dream build, which we've done. We've all done that, but now you actually could buy it. So it's freedom. So I guess for you, I mean, being able to find freedom at age 27, how old are you now?
I just turned 40 this year. I'm turning 41 this year.
Holy crap! When I met you, you were such a young man. You're coming to our side. You're coming to our side.
No, and that's why I appreciate what you and Sanaz do. And I mean, you guys could be literally on the beach, in the most beautiful islands in the world, and have your own private island. But yet, you're still here because of just what you represent, Remy. You represent so much to not just our company, but to the industry of MLM, because there's so much confusion out there. So, I mean, On behalf of myself and all the other partners, thank you so much for, being here after this many years still, and still, being on the front lines. And I think that's what makes our company so unique, is having you here with us.
No,
But
appreciate that, but look what you've done. I mean, you got a big team, a lot of them very successful. You've actually created your own millionaire. The very first woman millionaire in our company is in your team. You personally sponsor her, Sherry and Tommy. So, I mean, look, this is a business given to others, right?
yeah, and I just think, like you were saying before, I think one of the biggest things when you build that wealth is, I think, just choices. Being able to choose and have choices. Like, for example, recently we had purchased our new home. It's about close to $5 million for that home, and of course, I've never had this before, where you start, because it's a custom home, so you can customize whatever part of the home you want to have, whether it's waffle ceilings or you want to, and just being able to, for example, we have this. My dream was to have a huge wine cellar, in the basement, and then of course, the new homes, on the stairs on the way up. The area under the stairs is often not used properly, and all the newest luxury homes, they're actually building under the stairs an actual wine refrigerator, humidor, humidifier, and just being able to decide to do these kind of things. I mean, it's the choices that I never had, and it just makes buying a home, when you can buy a home and then customize it the way you want to customize it. Whether we want to have a huge pool in the backyard. I think it's those extra choices that you can have that really makes the difference. And it's
I have those wine cellars and wine rooms and storage in all my homes. I know what you're talking about. It's something first we see in movies and magazines. All of a sudden, you're doing a $5 million home. Is hold on a second. It's a $5 million home. Then I want that Instagram shot, in my home, right?
exactly it.
Can I also add something to that as well, Ramin? One of the things, this is exactly, ladies and gentlemen, what I was talking about with Rene. I think there's an echo because we're on as well, but
no one else is on.
Okay. So if you are basically got your volume on, please shut off your, put it on mute, please, ladies and gentlemen. So one of the big things that I wanted to also reiterate about Rene, it's about the next and the next and the next. You see a lot of people achieve success and then they stop and they think that, okay, I'm comfortable here, but they forget what they wanted. So they double their income and they stop. They basically, Rene still hustles. Rene will get on the phone at 5 a.m. Rene will get on the phone at 2 a.m. Rene will never miss a training. Rene will, we do tours in the office. He still shows up. Even if there's 5 people in the room, he still shows up. And those are the kind of things that makes Rene different as well. And so the reason I'm touching base on this is sometimes we become comfortable. You see, Rene already lived in a beautiful home on a golf course. I want to reiterate that. And I remember him living in an apartment and then evolving and then evolving and then evolving.
By the way, he still has that $3.5 million home while he bought the $5 million home. He didn't replace one for the other. He still has that one.
And so what's really amazing about this, Ramin, and it's similar to us as well. We're very driven. We achieve this and it's about the next. You achieve this and it's about the next. You want to evolve and you want to grow, because remember, people are watching you. If you don't evolve in this industry, then how do you expect for your team to evolve? For example, if you just made money that you just bought yourself a car, but you don't talk about it, then people don't see your growth. If you just bought a new home and you don't talk about it, then people don't see your growth. So it's really important to share your life milestones. And a lot of times I think we're so afraid of judgment that we don't share it, but Rene does. And you know what? Kudos to you. I just want to share that.
Yeah, and
Rene, I guess the next is the cigar lounge, right?
Actually, you know what? I just bought a humidor recently, and then I sent you a picture of it, and then you inspired me again to do a bigger one. But I just want to say that I think Jim Rohn said it once, is that for your wealth to increase, your personal development has to increase. So the more you work on yourself, the more that your wealth can grow. And there's some people that always complain, well, in my job, I only get paid this amount. And Jim Rohn told the person, no, the company only paid you that amount. And usually, as you work on yourself and you get more certifications, your income grows. Well, same thing in business, especially in business. I find that the more you work on yourself, as mentioned, the more that you are basically can make for yourself. And just again, I just can't express
There are people right now listening. That's okay. I kind of like the vibe here. How do I start? So give us give some direction on if someone's on the call tonight and says, okay, I want to start. How do I start?
Basically, real simple. Take the best package we have in company. We have 3 of them, but the LA package, again, it's 1920. It comes fully loaded with your global e-commerce website. We give you 3 fully built e-commerce websites. For the 1920 of an investment, you're actually getting back over $2,500 worth of products. So for me, I always felt like Opulence was essentially like a free business because I wanted to buy all the products for my family to have. Yet when you buy the products, you get the business for free. So, and I think one thing that I want to share with everyone as well too was that initially my goal, because this is I was 27, I was barely making 80,000 a year, as a programmer. But my goal was, can I make 5,000 a month working part time over 2 to 5 years? I wasn't thinking about the $1 million at that point yet. My goal was 2 to 5,000 because I haven't made even 2,000 in marketing before that. And I thought that was a really good goal because most people work their whole life to the age of 65, 67, and if they're lucky to retire, just to get a pension of like what, 1,000, 2,000 a month. So I was thinking if I can make 5,000 a month residual income in 5 years, I am way ahead compared to 90% of the population out there in Canada. And so I think that's a good goal to have is don't try to, I think just give yourself time to get there, be patient while working really hard. Actually, this morning I woke up and I think the way my brain is trained now is I woke up thinking, who can I talk to today? How can I get creative and keep on building? And I have actually this whole again new challenges in my mind. So every morning I wake up thinking, how can I get better at my business and get better? Because I believe that if I can get better and find something new that works, then I can teach the team as well. So I'm always just thinking about how to get better. And again, these trainings, I never miss these trainings because I find that it gets you so motivated and pumped up. So again, thank you, Ramin and Naz.
Well, it's about how can I help other people, right? So when we have conversations with people, we find out what the challenges they're facing. The question to always ask, how can I help? How can I help? If someone's having a lockdown issue, how can I help? Right? Let me tell you about our platform. If someone's having some of a health issue, how can I help? What about product line? Look, Rene, you've done a lot. A lot of people owe their inspiration to you. I mean, you've what a path. It's 27 and you lived the dream. You found freedom at age 30, so within 3 years here, and today you're living the dream. I want to thank you for that. And with that, Sanaz, I think we do have an announcement, or maybe Build a Civic is coming up soon next weekend.
Yay!
Why don't we shut that down?
Renee's like, here goes my income again up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to thank our founder and CEO for getting up super early, 5 a.m. here to get ready for the call today. And again, I want you to think about that for a second, right? This is your founder and CEO. This is the person who created the company, but is so committed to you 16 years later that although that we're on a trip and it's supposed to be a little getaway, we woke up at 5 a.m. to still represent, to still do this call. And that just shows you that the commitment, it's never about being lazy. There's many people that didn't want to wake up this early to get on the call or this evening to get on the call. It's about excuses. So if you're sitting there and you want a better life, you want more income, you want more success, get rid of the excuses and start owning it. Start, basically building, because at the end of the day, this opportunity will pay you as much as you put into it. Excuses will not pay you. Okay? But what you put into this business, the time, the persistence, the effort will pay you. Another person that, I seen do that over and over was Ifra. I mean, we hear of Ifra's story today of her success. I remember she used to drive. I want you guys to listen to this for 1 second. She used to drive. She doesn't drive. She used to want to travel from Ottawa to Toronto for a boot camp People in Toronto wouldn't show up to boot camp. Do you believe she used to take a Uber for 4 hours to get to boot camps? Yet today, she's living the dream. Today, she's able to travel, live in Turkey for the past year. Today, she's able to live the dream. Today, she's able to inspire so many women and men around the globe to work remotely, work through the e-commerce platform, work through the Opulence system, and still be able to make income. So I guess my message for you guys is get rid of excuses, start building it, start owning it, start to build your empire. When we say, if you have the will, we have the way, truly we do, but it's the effort that you put in. It's not the excuses. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are super, super excited that next Saturday, we are going to be sharing an amazing build assist with each and every single one of you. If you don't know what a build assist is, it's money. It's money. I have a money gang, okay? And that means that, you get money. It puts money in your pocket, and it basically builds momentum in your team, and it builds excitement. That's why Rene was talking, and he was like, what, build assist? Because he knows what happens with the build assist program, and I see many of your smiley, shiny faces. So it's gonna be an amazing journey. Get ready for that. In the meantime, please make sure that you continue to build, make sure that you are up to date with everything. Join us on these calls. Of course, today is our first leadership cocktail. Next week, we have another 2 amazing folks that are going to be on. Don't forget, we have our Monday Crossfire tomorrow, which is September the 6th. We also have our amazing webinar that's going to be done with our founder and CEO with our Philippines team. So we're really excited to have him on as a guest there. On Monday night, we will have a Toronto time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, will be, of course, our product Crossfire. I got something exciting for you for that, even though I'm going to be here still, away on a trip, still getting on lots of webinars because we're still committed to our business. Tuesday, we of course have the Forensic Networker call. And of course, we have our Saturday training that's coming up. And then on Saturday training, we are going to be giving you something amazing, which is our next build assist for the fall. So by then, your kids will be back to school. Moms and dads will be back at work. You'll be able to focus a little bit. Hopefully everyone has got the vacations out of their system a little bit during the summer season. And we're ready to build our journey towards the billion together. So with that, I want to thank our founder and CEO for being on. I want to thank each and every single one of you for being on. Rene, thank you for taking the time to share your story. I cannot wait to see your wine cellar and your little cigar lounge and your wine room to see what it looks like. I think we're going to share lots of great memories with each and every single one of you. And with that, I want to say to the billion, thank you for joining us. I hope that this morning's call has inspired you, has uplifted you, kicked you in the butt a little bit, and woke you up as well. With that, to the billion, I love you all. Take care, everyone. To the billion.